What's up, nerds? We're your hosts. I am Chad.
And I am Jake. This is our weekly podcast where we explore the world of nerd from TV, movies, games, comics, news, and books.
We will give you our opinions, theories, and oftentimes spoilers.
We will also have friends and experts as guests on the show to elaborate further on those topics.
But be prepared. We like to have a few drinks, so buckle up.
If you want to support our show, like, share, and subscribe wherever you enjoy your podcasts.
You can also become a premium subscriber over at buymeacoffee.com/allthingsnerd.
So let's get into it. This is the All Things Nerd podcast.
Nerd. Welcome, nerds, to the All Things Nerd podcast, your weekly dive into all things nerd. Jake, I hope we had a good weekend this week. Good, you know what I mean. Let's just jump right into our first topic. Cheers.
All right. So we are going to talk about Invincible Season 2, Episode 1, now streaming on Amazon Prime.
Here.
And before we get started, just a quick spoiler alert. If you haven't watched it, go watch it, come back. 3, 2, 1, you had enough time. Fucking hell, dude. I think anybody who's been watching this show, or watched the first season, has been anxiously waiting for season 2.
Yeah.
And holy fuck, it's here, and it is so good. I watched it twice in 2 days.
See, I wanted to, but because of the weekend and stuff like that, I watched it last night.
What happened this weekend?
Well, it was my birthday. We had some
nice.
shenanigans. You played D&D for the first time.
Yeah.
Oh,
did.
don't even. The next day, you're like, it was fun, but you fucking lied as to how long it took. And I was like, it's kind of your guys' fault.
Not my fault. I barely interacted with anybody.
Which kind of makes it your fault, because it slowed a lot of it down.
There is one person, and one person only to blame, and I'm not going to say their name.
Stevens.
No.
Mine.
No.
Dave?
I don't know.
Shalon? You changed your answer there. Anyways, back to Invincible.
There was dialogue that was just like...
Yeah, it wasn't built for you. That's fine. I'm sorry. Invincible,
Anyways.
though. The first 10 minutes of this episode, fucking awesome.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Which is, this show is.
Yeah, it's what you'd expect, but...
This is a multiverse season. I know that's what everyone's doing right now. Batman, Spider-Man, but...
Because that's what comics do.
Yeah.
And this show is also based on comics.
This is a multiverse season, and the opening sequence is, what if Mark embraced his dad's request to take over the world? Yeah. And it's pretty fucking gnarly.
Oh my god.
It's bloody, it's mean, it's heartless. I mean, you see Mark like smiling while just killing people. And like telling people like, you did this to yourselves. Like, if you guys would just be obedient to us, then we don't have to kill you. Like, it's...
If you play nice, we don't have to do this, and then we will reward you for it.
Yeah. There's a very... I think... it's a very fucked up scene between Mark and Adam Eve,
Hmm.
where she's like part of the resistance, and he like breaks in, and he's like got her by the neck, and he's like, "Don't make me do this." And she's like, "I would rather die than be a part of like whatever you got going on." And he like snaps her neck, and his dad, Omni-Man, like lands behind him, and he's like, "Mark, I know that was very hard for you to do. She was your friend, blah blah blah." And Mark's like, "Oh, I didn't kill her. I broke her neck, so she's paralyzed. Now I can visit her whenever I want, and she can't say no."
Yeah. And he's like,
It's like,
I'll make sure that she's taken care of.
yeah, it's like Jesus Christ, dude,
Woof.
brutal. Yeah.
But we're introduced right away to Angstrom Levy. I thought it was pronounced Levy based on the spelling, but voiced by Sterling K. Brown.
Hmm.
And one of the Angstrom, not to take words from Loki and the MCU, but one of the variants from a different multiverse has the ability to open portals. So America Chavez, basically. But there are still other variations of him throughout each dimension,
Hmm.
which is kind of cool. He's the only one that has the ability to do it, but he can like talk to the other ones and be like, "What's going on in your world? What knowledge can you share with me so we can be better?"
Hmm. It's actually kind of a funny scene because in that same opening sequence where Mark is evil,
Yeah,
uh, he's there,
yeah.
and
But it's not the one that
Mark,
can open the portals.
he's like, "What do you?" Mark's like, "What do you want me to do with him?" And his dad's like, "Kill him or whatever." And he just opens a portal and goes, "Yeet," and disappears. And Mark's like, "The hell was that?" And he goes, who cares? Let's just kill these guys and get out of here." Like,
Yeah.
but it's obviously a bigger
Plot?
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it shows that he knows that Mark is bad in an alternate reality.
And he even says that in the reality where Mark isn't. And he's like, in most of the other dimensions, Invincible's evil.
Hmm.
It's like, but in this reality, he's not. So like, this is the safest place to like gather information,
Yeah.
which is kind of interesting because then we get a dialogue with Mark. Was it with Amber or was it with Eve? Where he's uh like, what if I turn out to be like my dad?
That was with Adam Eve.
That was with
It
Adam
was
Eve.
on top of the school.
Yeah.
But then he has another moment later on with Amber
Hmm.
towards the
Towards the what?
oh no, he just did the hmm. So I
Oh,
was like
I was thinking of Zazie Bates. Sorry. Who voices Amber? Foyne.
if you don't know who that is, that's Domino in Deadpool 2. Uh
Yes.
yeah. But sorry. Uh what happened? What do we Yeah. No, there's two different separate moments. One is with Mark knowing that he's getting into college and is
Hmm.
going to college with
Amber.
Amber. But the moment you're talking about is on top of the school with Adam Eve, and he basically like there's like a really cool. I feel like we have to before that happens. There's like a really cool like five. I mean, it was like a 5 minute scene of
Because they
Mark.
play like the entire song.
They play the entire his Radiohead, and it's just Mark like flying around saving people, but like just being really, I
Moody and
guess,
brooding at the same
I was
time.
gonna say like defeated. Like, what's the point? Kind of like his dad got in his head. I felt
He's
that's what I felt
embracing
like.
the emo side of himself. Yeah.
Yeah. And and then he has this conversation with Adam Eve that, hey, what would happen if my entire life I looked up to my dad. I wanted to be him, and now what would happen if I did become him and I had no idea that I was becoming him? It was a yeah. This show is fucking dope, dude. I don't know.
Also, during that time, like, he's saving people, but there's
Mm,
one scene where, like, there's super villains and I can't, the GDA, I think is what they call themselves, or the GIA or something like that, where Cecil, the older man with like the very scarred face,
mm-hmm,
his soldiers show up to like fight the villains, and Mark just kind of looks and goes, hmm, and then like leaves because Cecil benched him. He's like, you've
mm-hmm.
been through a lot, and your dad turned out to be a piece of shit.
You didn't think it was? I thought it was weird that, like, even though Mark was like saving people, it just seemed like he didn't give a shit. And that's what I thought was cool
Yeah,
about or interesting about it was that like during that Radiohead scene, he was like just like kind of floating along and like saving people, but he wasn't putting any effort into it. Like he didn't I feel like he didn't like I feel like his dad got in his head and
yeah,
was like, are these people just worthless? Like why? What's the point? You know what I mean? And I feel
yeah.
like that's what he's struggling with is like I don't know. I don't think Mark's gonna be a bad guy. I haven't read the comics, so I can't say,
Yeah.
but I assume not. But
Yeah.
I can see his struggle right now. He like the person he looked up to the most in the entire world turned out to be a piece of shit. Almost killed him, but at the same point, like kind of like showed him how like minuscule like people are. So
And
he's
at the
like
same
still
time, how
trying to,
powerful he was while the
yeah.
shit getting kicked out of him.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah,
running
so
his face through a fucking subway train
train. Oh,
and
that's a finishing
surviving it.
move in Mortal Kombat now.
Oh, with Omni Man, right?
Yep, yep,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyways, so I think that Mark is like struggling with this. I am very, very powerful, and I could be a horrible person, but
I don't
dude,
even think that it's
yeah,
where he's like, I could be a horrible person. I think he's just struggling with like the duality of he was raised before his powers showed up, just being a normal human.
yeah,
And now he realizes that he can be on the brink of death and he can bounce back in a month because season 2 picks up a month after season 1.
yeah. It's wild.
And he's like, I'm fine. I'm strong. I'm ... invincible. Because they did
Bam.
that like 5 times during this episode. Because that was always the thing in season 1. It was like, oh, and then it cuts to the title
Yeah.
screen and says invincible and blood splatters.
If he's gonna take on his father, he'll have to be truly, bam, invincible. But they do that like they like tease you with it this whole episode. Like he'll have to be or he'll have to do this or
Oh my god, he must really be
yeah.
invincible.
But they just like they pause and then finish their sentence. And it's not till like the very end of the episode that they actually do it and it's like you dicks.
And when they do that, like it shows the very bloodied title screen that ends season 1,
Hmm.
and then
And
the
then goes
colors
back
flash
to
and it goes to like very clean. There's no blood.
and then a crack runs through it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably multiversal because it's no longer the blue and yellow either. That
Hmm.
would be like his superhero colors. Now it's like black and red.
Yeah.
Oh, this show is
It's so
fucking
good.
good.
Like I said, I watched it 2 days in a row. It's fantastic. Go watch it if you're not watching it. If you are watching it,
Tell us what you
let's talk.
think.
Let's talk.
Yeah, tell us your theories.
Speaking of like blue and yellow, though, isn't there a can that we know about that's blue and yellow?
That was good. That was good. Yeah, there's this fantastic energy drink called Raise Energy. I mean, they've got a bunch of flavors, but one of them is blue and yellow, and that's the one that tastes like Baja Blast. It's quite nice. But they have 0 calories, 0 sugar, and 0 crash. And if you don't like energy drinks, they have protein powder, pre-workout, supplements, pancake powder, everything. They've got so much, and a handful of it is plant-based, which we love. So listen up and learn how to save 15%. We'll be right back with you to talk about some nerd news and other stuff. What's up, nerds? I wanted to take a minute and talk to you about Raise Energy, an incredible energy drink that provides max energy with 0 crash. Raise Energy takes a giant leap of faith with instilling a high-quality formula to bring a powerful, yet sustained, energetic experience to help you push your workouts and focus to the next level. Perfect for anyone at any time, empowered by their refresh formula technology, Raise Energy delivers a performance-enhancing energy drink that aids in multiple different categories that include targeted focus, better recovery time, improved clean energy levels, and a boost in stamina and hydration. But most importantly, every can of Raise Energy has absolutely 0 calories, 0 sugar, and 0 carbohydrates to give you a smarter and healthier option. So don't settle for an energy drink that contains more sugar and carbohydrates than you can count. Instead, head over to repsports.com. That's REPPSPORTS.com and use the promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout for 15% off your order. Or if you don't know what you want, go ahead and click the link that's in the description to get a $50 sample pack for free. All you do is you cover the cost of shipping. Again, make sure you use promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout to let them know that we sent you.
All right, we are going to talk about some nerd news that's circulating. Some of it's rumors, some of it's maybe factual. We'll see. And just to kick it off here, we have heard a rumor. This is a rumor for sure. That the MCU is talking about bringing back the OG Avengers team for Secret Wars. That would mean Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what the Secret Wars would allow through the multiverse of...
It would be a one-off, for
and
sure.
We've heard,
like, they're not going to be
because we heard rumors that Secret Wars might explore the concept of the battle world, where it's like the best of each hero coming back.
Mm-hmm.
But we also don't know for sure. You know, like we said, that's just rumors. But also with Secret Wars, and if they follow the battle world concept from the comics, if some of the heroes die, you know, like that's a pretty easy out for recasting now that the multiverse is open.
And we also know that the MCU is trying to do a soft reboot.
Yeah.
Of the MCU, so bringing in the OG characters for like one more hurrah, and then
goodbye.
Yeah, I think that would be. Hey, do I want to see that? Of course I do.
Yeah.
Would it diminish the goodbyes that we had? Probably a little bit. Yes. But they're already doing it with Deadpool 3.
Yeah.
Like, why not? Hey, give us one more fucking yeehaw, and then give them a get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And then we can let this younger generation
and that's
start over.
What I was going to say is because then it also opens more of a need for like the young Avengers, or just if they find a way to stabilize people from other universes, you can do that. Another thing in MCU news is take it how you want. But during their, I think it was a shareholders press release that other people got a hold of and then leaked, we might not get as much Kang in the future as we originally thought. Um, that's kind of really depends on how the Jonathan Majors shenanigans goes. Um, but in that press release, they mentioned like maybe shifting away from like the Kang storyline and bringing in Doctor Doom, or recasting.
Which should be a pretty easy transition, especially with like the timeline stuff. And I think they could bring in Doctor Doom pretty easily. But then, the problem is that they already named like the Kang Avengers Kang Dynasty. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
I mean, they could change the
Yeah.
name of it because
They did. Yeah, they already did once with a Endgame. I don't think they changed the name of it, but it was under a different title and it got leaked, and then everyone was like, "No way!" And then they're like, "No, it's Endgame," and they were like, "Oh."
Yeah, but that could have also been, I mean,
Yeah.
when they first were filming Star Wars, like a lot of times, especially when there's hype
It's like a working title. Yeah.
Yeah, where like Return of the Jedi, so that people wouldn't try and sneak on set, they called it Blue Harvest instead of Star Wars Return of the Jedi. So it could be something like that. We don't know.
We don't know.
They could
we don't know
make
shit.
it work that
what
way.
do we know?
I don't know.
Yeah, but there's talks about replacing Kang with Doctor Doom, which I'm not mad about.
I want to see Doctor Doom, especially with the Fantastic Four coming out.
Yeah.
Like, or maybe this could all just be like a red herring where they're like, yeah, we're thinking about it, and the whole Kang Dynasty was just like a massive tease.
I would be, specifically for me, if Jonathan Majors is found guilty of what they're saying he did, like, fuck him. You know? I don't want this dude to make any more money off of that. Like, suck a dick in prison, hopefully.
If you're a piece of shit, like, I don't want to support you.
Yeah. And Doctor Doom is a fucking... If you don't know how dope I won't go into it super far, but if you don't know how dope Doctor Doom is, Doctor Doom killed Thanos in like 0.3 seconds. Oh. Thanos was like, ha ha ha, you don't know who the fuck you are talking to. And Doctor Doom was like, bet. And then ripped his, like, grabbed him by the throat and ripped his fucking spinal cord out and was like, okay, bye.
Hey,
like in the comics. Beer. So yeah, Doctor Doom is a dope, like, I'm like stumbling over myself a little bit, but like,
I mean,
Thanos
Doom
was like the big bad, and like for someone to be able to just like,
outside of the comics and like the animated things, we haven't seen a accurate Doctor Doom.
We have not. We got the guy from Nip Tuck, and then
and then that other guy.
That other guy, yeah, who would like. I don't even know who that guy is. I feel bad because he's an actor, and I'm not talking shit about him. But
no, it's just bad writing or the limitations of the time, because the original...
And his mask, he wasn't even wearing a mask. It was just like melted onto his face.
Yeah.
He was like, Mah. Yeah. He was like Stephen Hawking of Doctor Doom.
R.I.P. to that genius.
And Stephen Hawking.
You had to undo my damage control. Thank you.
Good night.
Well, outside of MCU news, we did get a couple new trailers. See how quickly I tried to avoid diving into that. We did get the trailer for the Echo series, which is supposed to come out in January.
January.
January. It was supposed to come out this
January.
month, but it was pushed out. Thank you, January. Uh, it got pushed back because of the writer's strike, the actor's strike, everything like that. But it's been pushed back to January. Yeah. And this will be the first TVMA MCU show, but also from what I heard, which I don't fully believe, is that it's the first MCU show that you don't have to know any backstory.
Lies.
Yeah, because in the literal trailer, it shows Kingpin with an eye patch, knowing that he's alive after.
That's from
Echo
Hawkeye, yeah, or not, yeah.
Yeah, from Hawkeye when Echo shoots him in the fucking face. Unless they're going to explain it in the show. But, like, you still have to know a little bit.
This looks cool. We see Daredevil.
Rad. Yeah.
We see Daredevil very briefly.
And it's hinting, it could be lighting, but I think that they're hinting that he's going to be back in his all red suit.
I mean, the yellow and red was like dope for like a barbecue.
Fans.
You know, but ketchup.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. But like
but
comic fans of like an original suit, like it's cool to like nod to it, but like everything we've seen is so much cooler. Keep going. I'm so sorry. I interrupted.
No, you're fine. It's going to be 5 episodes. They will all release at the same time.
It's only 5 episodes?
5 episodes. It won't be weekly. It will all release at the same time.
Cool.
And it'll be on Hulu and Disney+.
Because Disney recently, well, not recently, but now it's officially like the same thing. Oh, you got the padlock?
Okay. Another big one is Monarch Legacy of Monsters trailer dropped. Holy fucking shit.
This is a show, right? It's gonna be a show?
Is it? Well, I thought it was a movie.
I know it's gonna be an Apple TV Plus sort of thing, but I don't know if it's.
I hope it's a show. I want more.
I heard that it was supposed to be a show.
I love these monster movies. You know, we've talked about them on our podcast.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of these. I grew up on Godzilla and King Kong and shit like that. So the more of this we get, the better. So hopefully it is a TV show.
I heard it was supposed to be a show, and I'm all for it.
Keep talking. I'm gonna look it up right now.
But it's obviously it takes place after Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah.
And I mean,
but we also know that there's a movie coming out of Gods. You know, with the other ape. Isn't there like another movie coming out?
That's not connected to this. It's a foreign film, so when it releases next month in December.
No.
Oh, not that Godzilla one.
That's Godzilla -1. That's the Japan one. This is different. The Monarch Legacy of Monsters is connected.
Well, I know, but I thought that when you said that the other Godzilla one that I thought you were referencing was the Godzilla -1.
So that's what I was asking. Isn't there like a movie, and maybe it's the same movie, where not Godzilla, King Kong, they show in the trailer there's another like giant King Kong, but he's like bigger and like scarier.
Oh,
is this the same movie?
I don't know that. Not for the Godzilla -1, and not for.
Definitely not. Godzilla -1 is a foreign film
standalone.
Japan released. Yeah. Monarch Legacy of Monsters, and then
I think the one that you're thinking of might have just been like kind of a fan made thing because I haven't seen anything that legitimizes it.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, and if I am, I'm stoked on it
Yeah.
already because I've loved these movies too. Um, but I don't know of anything.
Well,
Anyways, we got the trailer for it, and it looks rad. John
yeah.
Goodman is back, uh, which is also kind of crazy, because he was in Kong Skull Island, but that was took place like 30, 40 years in the past.
No, it is legit.
It is.
Yeah. Godzilla Kong: The New Empire comes out in 2024. Millie Bobby Brown is back in it.
Okay.
Brian Tyree Henry, like, I mean, it's a legit thing. I'll send you the trailer. I know I saw like a legit trailer. I was like, no. So when
Well,
you so,
no offense, you and I have both sent trailers back and forth to each other, and we're like, that's not real. Like that's a
but I'm
fan
not
thing.
but I'm not looking at a trailer right now. I'm looking at like Google
No,
Facts. Like, yeah.
I believe you. I'm just saying like I couldn't remember
Yeah.
if it was
So
like a
there's
legit thing or not.
so there's three. So there's the Japan uh Godzilla
Godzilla
minus
minus
one,
one.
that which has nothing to do with this timeline of, but it looks fucking dope.
It looks
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah. But Godzilla Kong, the New Empire, is part of this world.
So I'm assuming that
And
the show is going to lead into it.
so I think you're right that it is a TV show, not a movie. I thought it was a movie. I saw the trailer for it and I assumed it
The
was a movie.
Legacy of Monsters one.
Yeah, but I think you're right. I think it's a TV show, which will probably, like you said, lean into this movie, Godzilla Kong: The New Empire. Which, if I get, have you not seen the trailer for this? It looks fucking wild.
I
You
don't
should
think
check it
so.
out.
Yeah, send it to me.
I will. Uh, anyways, um, what else? What else?
And
Echo,
then
Monarch,
Planet of the Apes or Kingdom of the
Kingdom of the Planet of the
Planet of the
Apes.
Apes.
This looks fucking. I love these movies.
I
The
do
only
too.
one that really let me down was the Mark Wahlberg one, and that's because he throws the N-word around and beats old people with pipes and stuff. Uh,
Yeah, but that's not part of this recent reboot.
no, I know.
They
Well,
tried to
yes, it is. No, yes, it is. And the one with James Franco, uh, at the end of the movie, they show the rocket going into space. That's Mark Wahlberg
Oh
in
my
that
god,
rocket going into
they
space.
quit. Yeah, Quentin Tarantino does where
So that so then when
you
he
start in the
goes
future and then you back up and then do the entire story leading up to it.
goes through a black hole, and when he comes back is in the future where the apes
Oh, I
have,
hope they
yeah.
fucking retcon that.
They already did. I mean, it's over. Now they're doing their own thing. But
Good.
I'm just saying they made it canon. But it was like a 30-second scene
Yeah,
in the first movie with
they tried.
Franco. Yeah. But now these are basically, these movies are between um Mark Wahlberg taking off into space and in between him landing back on Earth run by apes. So it's all of the in between how it happened and how the apes took over.
Yeah.
So when I hope they don't bring
Hopefully
Mark Wahlberg back,
after
but
enough time they can just
yeah,
like redo the Mark Wahlberg one.
yeah, that one is bad, real bad. I
Mhm.
mean, it was true to like the '70s one,
Yeah.
you know, but it
People
was
in
bad.
just like gorilla costumes. I
Yeah,
mean, Helena Bonham Carter was put in a gorilla costume.
she was in that. Yeah, she
Mm-hmm.
was like the main one, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Would you have clapped those cheeks?
It's Helena Bonham Carter. She's been like a lifelong like celebrity crush of mine.
So even as a gorilla,
I'd have to
you
go
would
back.
have,
I would have to go back and look, but maybe. I said what I said.
huh?
So Zack Snyder, right? uh,
Oh no.
I said what I said. It can't be taken back, but I don't know. Probably not. Um, Zack Snyder.
You want me to do it?
Yes, please. That's why I'm just keep saying his name so you can go on because you're the one that told me about this
Yeah.
first part.
Yeah. So we know that Rebel Moon is coming out soon. Ha, didn't mean for it to rhyme. But Eminem, you can borrow that. Rebel Moon Rebel Moon comes out in December. This is basically Zack Snyder asked if he could make a Star Wars movie and they were like, nah. And he was like, okay, bet, I'm gonna make my own. And that's Rebel Moon. It looks
Well,
fucking
they
amazing.
approached him to do it, and he's like, "Yeah, but I want to like do my own thing." And they're like, "No."
Yeah. This looks so fucking good. It's gonna be on Netflix, thank God. Uh, well, I mean, I would be down to watch it in theater. If this
Oh,
came on
I would
theaters,
go
I'd
and
watch
see it
it.
in theaters,
Yeah,
hands
definitely.
down. But
But yeah, and Zack Schneider himself has said that Rebel Moon and Army of the Dead, which was his other Netflix movie that came out a couple years ago now, about the zombies.
yeah, about a year and a half, and then Army of Thieves came out earlier this year.
They're connected.
Yeah,
Maybe not connected, but they exist in the same reality. And I think that is dope. Will we get something out of that? Probably not.
or was it his way of saying "fuck you" to Disney and Lucasfilm and being like, "It's not a galaxy far, far away, a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
It's happening. Just
Yeah. It's on the moon.
it's yeah, it's and it's like super rebellious." Um, yeah, thank you. Like instead of some far off distant galaxy, it's the Milky Way.
Mm, I love Milky Ways.
It's a good candy bar.
It's all right.
Oh, that's
Caramel, nougats.
oh, that's not what you were talking about. Not the candy bar, just other Milky Ways.
I was talking about the candy bar.
I'm joking because you said you love them, and I was like, yeah, it's a good candy bar. And you're like, yeah, they're okay.
No, I said caramel. And then you said, oh,
Nougat.
you're not talking about yeah, caramel and nougat.
Yeah.
Some chocolate. It's basically a Snickers without the peanuts.
Without this,
Without
were you gonna say without the Snicker?
without the peanuts.
Never mind. Because you're like, it's like a Snickers with us peanuts.
Oh, I'm just buzzed and I'm stumbling over my words.
Okay.
Leave me alone. Don't point it out, you jerk.
Well, too late. But Rebel Moon looks fucking rad. But
It does.
hearing that news is pretty wild. And then we got the season finale of Gen V. And holy fuck.
Mm-hmm.
This was bloody and violent and intense.
We talked about this on previous episodes that we heard that Gen V would run into The Boys season 4 and that The Boys season 4 would run into Gen V season 2. That's confirmed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's confirmed that when season 4 of The Boys starts, it's 4 or 5 days after.
After the end of this.
So within like a week.
Yeah.
Which is fucking crazy.
I wonder if they're going to recast fucking Andrew Tate with.
I don't know. Bring in this is gonna sound bad because I don't know his actual name. But Raleigh Ritchie.
Oh, Jacob
Anderson. Jacob Anderson.
Anderson,
Yeah, who plays
aka
Grey Worm,
aka Grey Worm, aka
Winnie the
Raleigh
Bitch.
Ritchie.
Oh, sorry.
um, I'd be okay with that. I think he's pretty tied up with the Interview with the Vampire stuff because I'm pretty sure they're working on season 2 right now.
Yeah.
But um, yeah, this was the season finale. Hello, hi, I'm the problem. It's me. This was the season finale, and it was fucking bloody, bloody. It was brutal. They bring in characters from um the boys. What's her name? The damage control chick who like pulls their
Ashley
hair out.
something.
Ashley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
They
then the
bring
guy
her
that
in.
directs like Dawn of the like
Yeah,
is in control of like the Hollywood moment of it. And I'm sorry, I want to talk about it for 1 second. It's not meaningful to the story, but when Sam like interrupts that class, and he's like, "See, this guy could never make it as an actor. He's got no stage presence," and then shit starts to go down. The director runs off scared, and then there is like probably the most emotional moment of the entire series between Emma and Sam on the same stage, where the guy was like, "This guy can't show emotion. He's the worst." And then they like have this dialogue, and I'm like, oh. I was expecting the director guy to stand up from like behind like the whiteboard and be like,
Also, very interesting that Emma shrinks without purging herself.
"Yeah."
Yeah, and she goes, "What the fuck? What the fuck?"
Yeah, because then
So we don't know how. I don't know.
I think that just the overwhelming emotion like tapped into it, and then
So she doesn't. I
season
think
2 she'll probably get a better hand on it.
I'm thinking what it'll be is that it is a psychological thing. So like making herself throw up makes her feel bad.
Because her mom like would make her do that.
Yeah, so it's an emotional thing. So Sam, like emotionally hurting her, made her shrink. So she can do it psychologically without eating, or she just doesn't know that she can yet. And I think that was our first hint at it.
And because her mom that basically forced her into the super version of Toddlers and Tiaras. Yeah. Also a fucked up show.
Yeah.
But that's real life. Don't watch that if you don't want to, I don't know, feel happy. Yeah, this show is so fucking good, man.
Yeah, it's wild. We got. I mean, we get like a solid fucking like 10 minutes of soups on soups, fucking fighting each other, killing each other, bloodily killing each other. Humans that have the ability to kill soups.
Yeah, the Sonic
Also very
thing.
bloody. Yeah, and it doesn't work out the way that they want it to. And then the dude shows up.
Well, and also before we get to that, Marie was about to cut her hand so she could use her blood as weapons. But then she sees like other dead bodies and remembers back to what what's the senator's name? It's not Shetty, it's the senator from The Boys.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Hold on.
Well, you look that up. She remembers that, being able to like sense other people's blood and sees bodies around her and uses their blood for weapons, so she doesn't have to harm herself to use her powers, which was really cool.
Which is lame. Self-harm is awesome.
Please retract that.
I am kidding.
I know you are, but some people are impressionable. It's me.
Is it?
I'm
I was
impressionable.
like, is it you? Is it you? Oh,
if only our listeners knew.
Let's see.
Anything? I feel super bad because we looked this up like 2 weeks ago for
Oh,
the senator's name.
Newman.
Senator, yeah, Newman.
Victoria Newman.
Yeah. Who shares the same power ability as Marie.
Mm.
But now you can talk about Big Boy showing up.
Oh, it's me. I showed up. No, it's
We can now
Homelander.
officially comment on the fact that Jake was in the show.
They call Homelander. Ashley. Is it Ashley?
Yeah.
Right?
Ashley's
She's
like,
like, somebody call Homelander.
I don't care where the
And
fuck he is, just get him here
and
now. You get a
he
hold of him.
shows up, and you're like, oh, the tone just kind of shifts a little bit, a lot of it, and you're like, oh no, he's not gonna be, like
It got a little Fourth
Marie.
Reichy
He
when
kind
he
of
showed up.
lands, and he kind of like looks around, all Homelandery with his hands on his hips,
People are
and
stoked. They're like, Homelander's here.
yeah,
He'll save the
yeah,
day.
we're saved. And Marie is like, Mr. Homelander, sir. And he goes, shut the fuck up. And the tone just changes like, oh God, he's not here to help. And he's not, because he's Homelander. He's the worst.
And he even says to Marie, like, why would you use your powers against other people like you?
Yeah.
And then
But she
over
was
his
trying to save people, yeah.
yeah, but we all know Homelander's a bit
Of a twat.
fascisty. Um,
He's a little Trumpy.
yeah,
That's not even I don't even feel bad about saying that. He is Trumpy because at the season 3 finale, they were wearing like hats and like they were making
There's
fun
even
of the whole Trump situation.
there was even people in Gen V wearing the hats for the town hall
Yeah.
for Victoria Newman's town hall. Um, but and then what he does is he like kind of like he doesn't like turn his head to like yell it over his shoulder, but he kind of like stands up taller to look more heroic. He's like, "Stop resisting! Don't do this!" And then he uses his laser beams and murks her.
Well,
We find out not truly, but
yeah.
we also get an end credit scene with Billy Butcher,
Butcha. I
and
love
he breaks the fourth wall.
Billy Butcher.
Yeah, I think that they just had him break the fourth wall just for like fan service, but he walks through the woods, not physical woods, the hospital wing that they called the woods, goes in and goes, "Oi, what a bunch of cunts," and then looks directly in the camera and winks. But he does like the Billy Butcher like smirk from the comics, which is rad.
Maybe he's not breaking the fourth wall. Maybe he's winking at somebody. Yeah, where's
That's
mine?
smart. Oh, it's really
right.
really hard to do
Mine.
this in reverse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this one.
Wait, no, that's. Oh, I'm way off. Oh, mine's like
Hidden.
my microphone. Oh, there it is.
And
There.
that's how it ends, which really seals the deal that this is going to lead into season 4.
Which we can't fucking wait for. Eminem, you can borrow that.
I mean, the show, the season is ready, but it's on pause until the strike ends.
Yeah.
So with that, studios fucking pay actors. You agreed to the writers' demands, and the actors are not asking for anything outlandish. But want to know what's kind of outlandish? Something that is a little outlandish and a bit spicy.
I just made pumpkin seeds. I did it last year and they turned out really, really fucking well. And so I made them again this year in a higher quantity. But and it was very outlandish of me. But Crybaby Craig's. Crybaby Craig's hot sauce. It's a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes on practically anything.
Even
Even
pumpkin seeds.
pumpkin seeds.
Huh.
Seriously, you haven't tried them yet. I'm gonna come
You
over
ate them
this
all
week.
before I got a chance to eat
No,
them last
I'll come
year.
over. I can't. I'm not really supposed to eat them because of the thing, but I'm gonna fill up a little jar and
Hmm.
bring them to you. Yeah. But crybaby, crybaby Craig's hot sauce, pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce. It goes on practically anything. Listen up. We'll tell you more about it.
Hey, you nerds. Do you love spice? Supporting small businesses? What about enhancing the flavor of your favorite foods? If you said yes to any of those, our good friends over at Crybaby Craig's have the perfect solution for you. Crybaby Craig's is a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes perfectly with your favorite foods, adding the perfect amount of spice and enhancing the flavor of everything it touches. Started in Minneapolis by Craig back in 2012, Crybaby Craig's has become a Minneapolis and Minnesota staple in the sauce world. So head over to crybabycraigs.com and order yours today. Okay, friends, now we really want to talk about Loki season 2 episode 5. Shit
There's only
went
one-
down, but
Yeah, there's only
Spoiler
one
alert.
episode left. Yeah.
yeah. Well, we're talking about how, on top of the fact that this is, I would say, easily the best MCU show in Disney Plus superhero
my
show to
favorite.
date, season 2 has been consistent on reinforcing that.
Mm.
That's enough time for the spoiler alert. If you haven't watched it yet, I mean that's on you. But fuck, man. I mean, last episode ends with Victor Timely just turning into spaghetti. It doesn't end with just him.
No.
Shit's wild.
All the timelines are disappearing.
Yeah. And we see Loki existing in the same place in the same time with himself, because now his time slipping's back.
Mm-hmm.
And fuck, he wants
Oh.
to try and figure it out, and he starts bouncing to like different branch timelines. It sounded like you wanted to interject before I went forward.
Well,
So
we also find out why Mobius is so obsessed with jet skis. And it's not cool.
it's
He's a-
actually very sad.
He's a salesman.
Yeah,
He's a jet ski,
in
aka
fucking Ohio,
yeah.
in Cleveland. So like, yeah, there's a very big lake there, but
I mean, even when he's pitching it to other people, like he's like, yeah, I mean, you could take jet skis on the river, in the pond, let it rip. You know, like
yeah,
it's like, dude,
yeah. When
stop.
he, because they start, and he doesn't stop, because Loki, as he's like bouncing from branch timeline to branch timeline, like he keeps finding these people, and it turns out that Casey on the main timeline is Frank from The Great Escape of Alcatraz. I forget what Frank's last name is in history, but he's one of the 3 inmates of Alcatraz that made the Great Escape. And even after Loki finds them, and he finds OB, who's a science fiction writer, which is
But
hilarious.
still super smart because he builds a tempad and like
he's a theoretical physicist professor, but really wants to be a science fiction writer.
yeah, love it.
I hate to make this connection because it's so overplayed in pop culture, but OB on the timeline is Sheldon Cooper from The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, I'm not happy that you did that.
Yeah, neither am I. But like, genius, but cares more about science fiction, but is so intelligent.
Except Sheldon Cooper hasn't done a fraction of the things that Obi did. So
Right.
he's just
So
a
better.
fucking
Better in
nerd.
every way.
Yeah.
No offense to Jim Parsons. I love Jim Parsons. But don't. I thought you were going to make a joke. Oh, I bet you do love him.
No,
You're
come
just
on,
you're
man.
so
I got
mean to
more
me.
class
What?
than that.
Not this past weekend you
Jesus
didn't.
Christ. That's not my fault.
Yeah, that's fair. Um, but
Oh man. So Loki is learning to control his time slips, which is what Obi kind of tells him. He's like, you have to be able to do this on your own. You can't, like right now, you're just like "Bleh," and getting pulled wherever, like emotionally, but like you can control it. So he starts trying, but he doesn't figure it out till like the end of the episode, which is fucking dope.
yeah,
Because it's like this episode is like Thanos level snap. Like all
only
billions and
only
billions and billions of people,
multiversal
yeah,
Thanos,
are dying. Yeah.
not
It's
just
crazy.
Avengers timeline.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Every everyone everywhere
in.
all at once.
Oh, I see what you did there. That was good. Whoop.
uh
But you have a theory about where the season finale is going with Loki.
I do. I do. I think that the thing about Loki is that he's always wanted to rule. He's selfish up until like this show. Blah blah blah. Anyways, I think
Up until
now
this
that
episode, he even admits it in
yeah,
this episode.
I think that he now that he control where to go, I think he's gonna go back to where Sylvie killed He Who Remains, and instead of killing He Who Remains, I think Loki is going to accept that position, which was proposed in at the end of the first season. Was you guys can either take my place and
Mm-hmm.
rule, or let's see what let's fuck around and find out, you know? And they fucked around and found out, and it didn't go well. So I think that Loki is going to go back now that he can control where he jumps to, and I think he's going to accept that offer and take over as who he remains. He who remains. I think he's gonna take that over, which will be really cool because
That rounds out
then
Norse mythology as well.
and we'll also see. I think we'll also get like he if he wants to, he can go visit Thor, and whoever the fuck he wants.
Yeah,
You know what I
and
mean?
he
And
doesn't have to necessarily fully prune every timeline, but he'll at
mm,
least have the ability to keep things under check
yeah,
by doing so. Um, and what's cool is, like I said, like that rounds out Norse mythology because, like, after Ragnarok, in Norse mythology, Loki is presumed dead, but he isn't. He faked his death, just
I feel like we've seen that before.
like as he's done in the MCU, and they've even hinted at like his history and past in season 2 as well of like the Norse god statues and wood sculptures, and he's like, nah, it's not that great, and because also I don't want to get into like a Norse mythology lecture here, but it would make sense if he became He Who Remains.
Yeah.
My theory, it's more comic and superhero inspired, is that he's just going to find a way to stop the loom from exploding, be able to go back far enough in time, maybe by grabbing Victor Timely before he turns into spaghetti, using his knowledge and getting out to the loom before the radiation would just yeet
It's
him
kind
into
of the
oblivion.
same theory though, because if he goes back and takes over the timeline as He Who Remains,
But I
that's
think that
before
Loki is
that's before
in.
Victor Timely dies and all that. Basically,
Yeah,
your theory is my theory.
but
Just
I think that by doing so, it because they've hinted at it, I think that it'll be officially destroying Loki from the timeline. Like he's gonna sacrifice this version of Loki is gonna sacrifice himself uh, to
yeah, and
stabilize
then
everything.
stay
No,
as
I meant like
He Who Remains.
he might not make it back from the loom by implementing the upgrade so that all these branches can exist, because then that opens up for the King Dynasty to still happen, the Secret Wars, Deadpool 3, everything like that. But I think that the Loki that we're seeing in the Disney Plus show, this version of him won't survive. Just because they've kind of hinted at impending doom.
We'll
But
find
also,
out.
this past episode kind of like was like, are they? Like maybe he gets out there, fixes it, and then can zap himself out of there because he has the control to do it.
We'll see in like 3 days.
Yeah,
By the time this episode comes out, it'll
yeah,
be like one day.
yeah.
But
Within 48 hours of this episode dropping, we will have an answer.
yeah. Um, yeah.
Do you have any closing thoughts, theories, anything like that?
I said all I had to say.
All right, perfect. Let's close out this episode.
But before we do, we are going to talk about our honorable mentions. Chad, what do you got?
So the big thing that I've been watching, and it's nothing new,
Porn.
but
Porn doesn't count.
then there's definitely nothing new. um, no, I started rewatching Smallville.
Ooh,
Uh,
love me some Smallville.
it had been a little bit of time. Mm. But then you said that you had been watching, and I was like, I should restart that at some point in time. But also, we kind of mentioned it earlier. Not that it's important, but my birthday was this past week. And so I went out and bought a PS5 so I could play Spider-Man 2 as a treat to myself, and that's what I've been doing for the past several days when I've had time. And the game is so good. Yeah. What about you, Jake? Because there's a lot, and I only wrote down a couple of them, and then you're like, in this, in this, in this, and I was like, I stopped writing down. You can remember from there.
Well, I've been rewatching the Harry Potter movies. I'm like 3 deep so far, through Prisoner of Azkaban.
That's all the deep I go. It's just 3. That's all I can do.
We are currently watching. Oh, excuse me. We are currently watching The Night of, which is a HBO one-off series. Um, it's really fucking good. I want to talk about it, but I don't want to ruin it. It's a murder mystery, and I don't want to.
You said with Riz or
Riz Ahmed,
Ahmed?
and John Turturro. It's super fucking good. Like, if you trust me on anything, it's only one season. Like, it's not that big of a commitment. Check this show out. I watched it back in 2017 when it first came out. And I made everybody at my work watch it, and we were all talking about it weekly. And now I made Nicole watch it, and I forgot because I'm old and my brain doesn't work so good.
And it's been 7
and
years.
I forgot who
6
the
years.
killer is. So we're like watching it, and I'm like, son of a bitch, I don't remember who done it. Uh, but it's really fucking good. It's a little grisly if that's something you're not into, sack up. But the other thing, we watched a couple horror movies. We watched, well, are they really horror movies? We watched The Blackening. Fucking god damn it, this movie is the Wayans brothers on steroids. It's so fucking funny. The
Wow.
only reason I didn't see it in theaters is because I was worried that I might laugh at something that I shouldn't. But like that's kind of the point of the movie. It's like very stereotypical. Like, oh my God. I was in tears. Um, the other one we watched was A Haunting in Venice. We watched it on Halloween. It is the third installment to Murder on the Orient Express, and then the second one was A
Death
Death on
on the
the
Nile.
Nile, and then now this one. It was a lot of fun. I love murder mysteries, and I love trying to figure them out before they end, and getting yelled at by my girlfriend when I am right. Um,
It helps him come.
yeah.
What?
Mm.
uh,
Follicum. Uh,
uh,
anyways, that's really all I got. So close it out, fucker.
okay. Well, for our listeners that are still here that haven't had to pause and never come back, oh no, and you like what we're doing, head on over to buymeacoffee.com/allthingsnerd. It's a great way to support the show on a monthly basis. You also get some bonus and perks. Also, within the next month or so, we will officially be launching our second podcast called Kobolds in the Basement. You can find links to that when it's actually out in our show notes. Other than that, if you don't want to give us your money on a monthly basis, I mean, that's kind of lame, but we get it. Head over to the allthingsnerdpodcast.com. Within the next week or so, we should have a new website out. Week or two. Probably about, yeah, before the end of the year. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
That's a safe net there. Pick up something there if you want to give us anything. And Jake's just so ready to go.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Like,
I'm
share, and
kidding,
subscribe to the show if you like what we're doing and you don't want to give us any money. We totally understand. We don't pocket anything. It goes to the people that help us make this show possible. But we love you. And
We love you.
this has been the All Things Nerd Podcast.